Welcome to our first campus conversation of spring 2024. So happy New Year to all of our viewers. We are in for a delight. I have one of our newest faculty members, though you're not so new anymore, Professor Parks, Elizabeth Parks, who is a professor of theater, but a specialist of movement, theater, acting, in our theater and dance department here in the College of Fine and Applied Arts. So Professor Parks, welcome.
Thank you.
And I want to just get right started and jump right in. Is that okay?
Sure, please do.
So can you tell us first a little bit about your background, where you came from? And then for the third thing, why did you choose us? Because we're so thrilled to have you.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here. I was born in Southeast Missouri, and my senior year of high school, we moved to Pennsylvania, and I kind of haven't stopped moving since. I have lived all over the U.S., spent time in France. My master's degree is in French, so I had the pleasure of living in France for a year. I've lived in Switzerland and spent some time training with theater programs in Bulgaria. A destination for theater, as one does, and with a very prominent theater company in Denmark. I have been in higher education now. This is with a few years off, I've been teaching for 18 years, actually.
Wow.
And I was delighted. This was my number one choice. When I was searching for a position. I have lived everywhere, but I wanted a home. And to be able to dive into my passions of acting and movement, I believe in everything embodied, and that the body comes with us, and it is this tool of expressivity that we continue to sort of shrink away from. So that coupled with the sense of community here. I knew the faculty, I had a chance to meet the students. There is an ocean, a network, a satellite system of community and integrity and scholarship and humanity that's here that I haven't encountered at a lot of other institutions. So I'm excited to be here.
Oh, thank you. And I'm so proud of the caring community that we have here. I think we care for one another, and we demonstrate that care for ourselves and our students day in and day out in different ways. And I got to witness one of those ways right before our conversation. And I saw you interacting with the students. Yippee! Really utilizing this, is it pronounced the Margolis method?
Margolis method.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Sure. I encountered Carrie Margolis in 2009 at a theater conference where she was the keynote speaker. And then I also took a master class with her there. But at her keynote, I'll never forget this. The only words I remember was she came out on stage and said, "I'm Carrie and I'm amazing." And I thought, oh, I want to be amazing. And 4 years later, I was finishing my MFA degree and I was creating an original piece of theater, and I had multiple mentors coming through, and she was one of those mentors. So we reconnected again, and as part of that whole journey, we all went out to dinner, and I remember saying, "I met you 4 years ago, I remember your speech." And she said, "You know what was really funny about that? That I had just flown in from Barcelona and was sick to my stomach, and I'll just leave it at sick to my stomach backstage. And I came out on stage and I spoke those words and I owned my own amazingness." And she said, that was life-changing for me. And I thought, oh, I really want to be amazing now, right? And so for her to lean into her craftsmanship, what it means to have a skill set, and that especially in the industry of theater, where we're so desperate to be liked and wanted and a part of things, she said, "I want to be respected. It's about respect." And I also bring that into the classroom with my students, that as you enter the field, know that you have trained and you are amazing because of your skill. And that is why you should be respected in the room.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think that's phenomenal. So you are teaching students a craft that is, millennia old, right?
Yes.
It is a craft that brings people together. It's a craft that takes its viewers and participants on journeys to different cultures as well. Talk to me about not only the exchange of energy that occurs as a result of the craft, but how sometimes you have to protect maybe your energy.
Sure. Yeah, and I appreciate that you use that word energy, which is even what Margolis method does and explores. We were just utilizing sending that to the front or to the sides or to the back, and that allows us to tell infinite stories. Something that I try to honor for the student is coming back to home base, that there's a lot of wisdom within, that the body can offer you guidance. And a lot of the methodologies that I teach respect the wisdom of the body, that this is home and you have that. Nobody can take that away from you.
That is so empowering. And you know, as a young person, I don't think I was ever taught that.
I wasn't.
No, if anything, I gave my power away to people who I thought had more experience, had a lifestyle that was different than mine, were more worldly. And I think that is also part of the imposter syndrome that a lot of first gen or low income college students have to deal with. And I know that you and I are both really passionate about making sure there's a community for everyone.
Absolutely.
So that everyone knows that the theater is a part of where they belong, that it's a welcoming environment. Can we talk a little bit about what that means to you, that sense of belonging with regard to ensuring that we have an inclusive space that is open to all?
Absolutely. As a collaborative art, it's important that there's an ensemble, that we take care of each other, we take care of ourselves, we take care of each other, we take care of the space, we honor the story that we're trying to tell, and we take care of the audience in that journey as well. So I think that the integral part is the listening component. The actor gets so excited about the line or the move or the thing that they're doing, and they forget about the receiving and the processing part of every acting beat, and really of life, of every moment. So even in my acting for non-majors class this semester, we're talking about receiving, processing, and responding. And the students are making the connection that, oh, that's a life skill. Oh, this is going to serve me wherever I go, whatever I'm studying, whatever discipline I'm in.
I think that's really interesting, because one of the things that I am constantly telling people is we are not here to simply teach a trade. And we're not teaching what some people like to call soft skills. We're teaching durable skills. We're teaching the skills that are going to prepare young people to live their full life, live their full potential, live a life that they're proud of. And most importantly, there's no expiration date on the sorts of things that you're teaching. To honor yourself, that home is within you. You don't have to look outside of yourself for that. You are home. And to respect home, to respect others. You know, that will translate whether I end up working at Google or whether I'm on Broadway. And I think that's the secret sauce to why what you do is so critical. It's not just for theater majors. I don't have to tell the story of why the arts and liberal arts are so critical. CEOs of companies will tell you, these are the skills that I'm looking for. I need someone who can think critically. Well, that's what you do. I need someone who doesn't just ask the question why, but asks the question why not. Imagines an environment that doesn't exist, that's fair, equitable, inclusive, a place where everyone belongs, and says, why not? And I also think that the things that you teach that make people want to learn, and you teach people not what to think, but how to think. I want to talk a little bit about that. How do you do that?
Sure. Even framing it for my students this week, saying, I'm offering you a way. This is not the way. I really see this as we're on a journey together, and I'm interested, you are the expert of you, and what you bring to the table is equally as important as what I'm contributing. I'm giving us a framework to think about how we can tell stories, how we can come to know ourselves, how we can express ourselves. But you actually have the most knowledge of yourself. So trying to navigate that with the students and figuring out where they're at and what they're interested in. So practices of even in my assessment, co-creating rubrics and co-creating community agreements together, so that it's an ensemble that we're building, and not a sage on the stage or a voice from above that is dropping down wisdom. It is coming back to how can I listen internally?
So how do you find these ways to honor each person's lived experience when we're talking about creating an ensemble? How do I still get to honor my true home?
Sure. A variety of different ways. I think I have the advantage of play being really integral to what I do, and play as a great vehicle for learning, but also for maybe diffusing fears or challenges. Being really aware of coming into an acting class can be very intimidating, and I'm very aware of that. So trying to offer ways for us to play, to get to know one another. We did an exercise in acting for non-majors where they took their shoe and met with each other, and instead of describing themselves, they described their shoe as if it was them, and discovering that, oh, I'm laced together, I'm knitted in front, and I have a fuzzy, I'm fluffy on top, I suppose, and maybe side doors and less conventional ways of getting them to meet themselves and meet each other and have the conversation. And even branching into two other things I'm doing this semester is talking about what do you believe, what do you expect when you come in the room? How can we come together on that? How can we honor each other's beliefs and expectations? And how can we honor what we value as well? So even just doing a word cloud together and having them drop in, this is what I value. So they feel heard, they can see it on the screen, and then we reference it in class. I'll project the little word cloud and I'll say, what do you need today? I need community, I need respect, I need love. And what are you willing to give to the space as well? So I use it to honor what they're already feeling and then continue it as a tool throughout the semester.
Wow, that is really interesting. Well, now this is your second semester here.
Correct.
How did your first semester go?
It was lovely. Yeah, it was really lovely.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you need from us as a community to make your second semester even better? We're an ensemble here.
I've received a lot of support. I'm excited about the research opportunities, the support for research. I'm working on a trip to Japan this summer.
Can you tell us a little bit about why you're going to Japan?
Yes. So a third of my research is in a very old form of Japanese theater called Noh. N-O-H is how it's spelled. Okay. So Noh theater, which is a masked form of theater that is chanted. And there's a particular way of movement where you actually don't lift your feet, that you slide your feet across the floor. There's very little even stomping. And so it's a really, I think it's humanity poeticized in such a beautiful way. So I've been studying this for the last 10 years or so, and it's a part of my research, a part of my teaching. There's even a beautiful concept of Johakyu, beginning, middle, and end, that it's almost this wave, that something births and develops and closes to create a new beginning, middle, and end, and so on. So I incorporate some of the philosophy and some of that practice in my teaching. And I've been training with Theater no Gaku, who they're based out of, the artistic director is based out of Tokyo. So I'm going this summer to study, to train with some Japanese masters, to do some mask carving. And they have connections with a theater in Fukuyama where I can be very honored that most Westerners don't get to be backstage, but they're gonna let me backstage and hang out and be behind the scenes.
And you'll bring that global perspective and knowledge back to our students?
Absolutely. That's something key about me. My master's took me to France, and other studies have taken me to Bulgaria and Turkey and beyond. And I, speaking another language, value other perspectives and other cultures. And I think that's something special that theater can do as well, is to offer a window into humanity via those other cultures.
I think so as well. Now, before we go, what is one thing that you would like for our audience, and certainly me as the Dean of the college, to know, either about your discipline, about you personally? What would you like for us to know, to leave us with one parting thought? What might that be?
Theater's a place of play, but it's also a place of discipline, and I think we work really hard here in the department. I see my colleagues, there's a deep sense of community, and there's a deep sense of trying to move the needle forward and trying to connect with each other. I'm even with colleagues here working on a panel for a summer conference about consent across the curriculum and what that means to, again, honor all voices. We provide a space for people to meet themselves and each other through play and generosity and adaptability and discipline.
Thank you for providing that space, Professor Parks.
Thank you.